All right, we are looking like we're live. Let's wait until we see a picture, and we are. Good afternoon, everybody. Um, Pretty excited about this one for a couple reasons. First of all, Hacklier Games, how are you, sir? Welcome aboard. New new first officer joining the channel. That's awesome. Welcome aboard, good sir. Hans, good to see you. Bob, Chris. Got people here ready to go. I am excited. Check this out. Um, First of all, I don't see anybody, which is a little bit of a disappointment. Um, I'm on all players, but I'm also on the beta. So if you guys can see each other, I'm glad to see that. But unfortunately, I can't see anybody. But also, check this out. I have my own Islander livery now. This was done for me by Ben from Germany. I didn't have time to load it last flight. And I mean, it just looks tremendous. Look at this. I mean, that is some cool stuff. So, um, we are in. Yeah, how cool is that, Bob, right? We are in. What is the name of this lovely little airport again? In Nagua, Myig. And be heading, be heading northbound here to, let me see, we'll be heading to Mayaguana. So that is going to be pretty cool. And we got some traffic. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. That is a cool looking livery. Um, yeah, I can do that. Heck yeah, I can send that, Chris. I thought about that. Look at this. This is a sharp looking bunch of airplanes right here. That is so cool. I'm like amazed by this. That's awesome. So, probably ought to get in the airplane and get myself going. I gave myself a Victor Papa Mike Tango Romeo, which are my initials. But this is a sharp looking airplane. Look at this. All right, let's turn all this fun stuff off. So I feel like I'm a drunk trying to press these buttons here. I guess I need to. All right, come on. Okay, got them all. Finally. All right, so let's get going here. Let's go external power supply on. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm fidgeting in my chair. All right, rotating beacon on. Mixtures and props. Full forward, master and battery switches on. I gotta find something to get the fuel valves. I gotta bind them to something. Fuel pumps on. My fuel pumps are not coming on. Why are my fuel pumps not coming on? We'll see. We have to rebind those for a new livery. I don't know. Magnetos on left. Let's open the starter hood cover. Take a look to the right and to the left. Gosh, this livery is gorgeous. All right, let's go right engine. Come on, this feels like jittery today. All right, right engine, good start. Oil pressure is good. Left prop is clear. Left engine, good start. Let's go mags to both. Oil pressure is good. I don't know why the fuel pump are not working all of a sudden. Fuel pumps off. Fuel pressures are okay. It might help if I bring the throttles up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. All right, we'll leave the mixtures for taxi. Nav and strobe lights coming on. Jason, yes, we are, sir. Yes, we are, sir. And Yes, I am still on DLSS 3.7. I ain't going back. It looks fantastic. I've been doing quite a bit of reading on it the past day or two. I go take landing lights on, and it should be it's just a little bit of a crosswind, so it should be a pretty easy, just straight out departure. And yes, and yes. About what heading? I figure probably. Oh, okay, 034 magnetic. It's gonna be a heading of 034 on departure. All right, give or take right there. So, all right, tow brakes are on. Release the parking brake, and let's get going. Good to be back on the island. I had did some flying yesterday in the 737. Had a really good time. Mishko Blue Bob was with us for a lot of the day. It was a fun day of flying yesterday. Really fun day of flying yesterday. So, and there's VATSIM ATC coverage everywhere in this area today, which would have been really cool. But let's go flaps to takeoff. Mixtures and props full forward. I'm gonna do short field takeoff because this looks a little short. All right, toe brakes are set. Flaps are set. Fuel pumps coming on. I don't know why my switches aren't working, but that's all right. Takeoff power is coming in. Takeoff power is set. Engine instruments in the green. Release the brakes. A little bit of left aileron here. Let's see. You can't overdo flight sim, Chris. Alright. You can't, in my opinion. Alright. Looking beautiful. Bring the props back just a little bit. Manifold pressures back a little bit. And off we go. I'm interested to see this. I hope Brooks joins us. Brooks was on one of the flights yesterday. So Brooks is from Mayaguana, where we're going. And so I really hope he's here today. He was on one of the streams I did yesterday. I did two streams yesterday. London Heathrow to Nice, France, and then I did a South Africa flight, which was awesome. South Africa flight was really cool. Just drop the nose a little bit, bring the flaps up. 1,000 feet AGL, we'll turn the fuel pumps off. Check the fuel pressures. Fuel pressures are looking good. Let's trim for 100 knots cruise climb. Alright. And yeah, we got some traffic coming out here. Looking good. Leon, how are you? Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? And you know what's funny? It moves in sync with the ball in the turn and bank indicator, the turn and bank coordinator. All right, so I mean, I'm surprised at like how well modeled these even these islands are. I mean, it's looks pretty good. You know, it's just not bland like generic island scenery. I mean, it's gorgeous. Leon, welcome aboard. Good to have you with us. Um, so we're just doing some island hopping today. Sort of the opposite of what we did yesterday. And a great day of flying yesterday. It was so much fun. I did a night flight in New York that was a day flight in Australia. So I did Sydney to Melbourne, Australia last night, and it was so much fun. And the hilarious part was I had four controllers over the course of my flight, and uh, three of them said hello to me on chat on VATSIM. They were like, "Hey, thanks for the videos." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "You've heard of me in Australia?" And they had. It was just wild. All right, 3,000 will do the trick for today. Push the nose over. Manifold pressure back. Props back. Hey, Justin, how are you? Good to see you. I'll check the chat here in 1 second. So let me trim this out. And let's get some aileron trim in here, some rudder trim as the case may be. And we are doing the trim dance here, doing the trim dance. And if anybody knows what happened in the Japanese Grand Prix, please don't tell me. I haven't watched it yet. Isaac, I do have a question. Do you know what setting parameters I need to get a realistic trim wheel? Um, Justin, somebody asked me about that yesterday, and I will look into that because I used to use FSU IPC, but I don't use it anymore because I think the trim wheel is pretty good now. Well, I just use I use the electric trim. Actually, that's a better answer. I use the electric trim on the yoke on the Honeycomb Alpha. I don't use the actual wheel anymore. So I'll have to look at it and see how it performs and see if I can figure out how to get it good because I used to use it a lot, but what happened was I got a three-axis autopilot put in my actual airplane. I have a Piper Cherokee, and because I got the autopilot, I got electric trim on my yoke, and I like using the sim to give my to instill muscle memory, right, for real flying. And so I've been using the electric trim just because I want my brain to get used to that. And so I don't really use the trim wheel itself anymore. But I can definitely look into that for you. Somebody else asked me that yesterday. Gosh, this is beautiful. Look at that. Look at that livery. I had a channel member do that for me without even my asking. He just did it and sent it to me. Freaking amazing. Looks absolutely awesome. And of course, where am I going? I have no idea. No idea where I'm going. Um, and Leon, first time watching one of your live streams after all the help for frame gen. That's awesome, Leon. I'm so glad. So the funny thing is, like, this is what I prefer doing, but everybody watches the other stuff, so I keep doing it, you know. But I appreciate it, Leon. I really do. Leon from London, that's awesome. I just flew out of Heathrow yesterday. I flew out of Heathrow yesterday down to Nice, my first flight as Speedbird. It's a great call sign. It's a great call sign. Andorra, Spain. Brian, I have a lot of family in Spain, a lot of family in my wife's family, and I everybody that I know tells me I would love Spain, and I believe them. I really want to go to Spain at some point. Welcome aboard, Brian. It's good to see you. Um, yeah, Justin, the first two Cherokees I had the trim wheel on the top, you know, the rotating wheel on the top, and it's funny, but you get really used to it after a while. Trying to bring the needle back in here, put on a good demonstration of flying. Um, yeah, the Cherokee, the Warrior, they're such great airplanes. Super stable. Brian, where are you from originally? We got a nice batch of warm weather here in New York, and I don't know how Hans. I don't know how many planes are in the troop today, as it were. But let me look on Valanta and see who's behind me here. We have got Chris Loach and Caribbean Sim Pilot behind me. Ah, Brian. Okay, from London originally. Nice. And the needle is coming in, and they got to be getting close to releasing this sim update, and then we'll all be back on the flight together, which will be nice. Um, but I mean, this is just it is so beautiful out here. Richie Sim, what's going on? Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I wish you well. I sent you a couple people over the last couple days. I had some VR people asking me questions, and I was like, talk to Virtue Sim. Hope you're doing well, man. Um, where are you going flying, Mike? Where are you heading on your flight? I'm gonna Google you and find out. Let's see here. Yeah, and let's see where is Virtue Sim going from Chile. That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Yeah, there's a couple people asking me VR questions, and I know that you're the guy to answer that. All right, now we are on centerline here. Chile, that's so cool. I'm kind of I don't want to use the wrong word. I change my mind so quickly between loving to fly the Islander and loving flying like the 737 or the ATR. And I haven't flown like the Warrior or um, like the haven't flown the Warrior in a long time. Haven't flown the Bonanza in a long time. Haven't flown the I absolutely love the Baron. Haven't flown that in a long time. Haven't flown yeah, Jason Virtue Sim is the guy to go to for VR. I haven't flown the what else do I used to fly all the time? I used to fly the TBM. I love the TBM. Absolutely love that airplane. I never fly it anymore. I haven't flown that airplane in probably a year, you know. But yeah, Bob, we are into April, and it's going to be 70 on Tuesday, and they're talking about snow like Friday or I don't know. And then we've got the we're like right in the path of the eclipse, which I swear every time we have an eclipse, they tell us it's like the last one for 60,000 years, and then like 3 years later we have another eclipse. So I'm not listening to their stories anymore on that one. I need to keep leaning here. Good luck with your stream, Mike. I hope you have a good time. Hope you get a good crowd. Yeah, I mean, in the you get some mountain waves. You get some wind in those mountains. You will definitely get chucked around. That's for sure. Isn't that isn't that what they say though? Um, They always say it's going to be like another, maybe not 60,000 years, but they always say it's going to be like another, 120 years um before we get another eclipse, and then like 3 years later there's another one. Yeah, so Bob, the I've got within like 100 miles of me, kind of to the north and west, um there's like 4 or 5 airports. I mean, it's pretty rural out here, so there's not a lot of airports, but we got a notification from our airport like a week ago, that that you had to reserve parking on the tarmac if you wanted to park your airplane for the uh, for the eclipse. I mean, it's like crazy. Yeah, which reminds me, Mike, I should join your Discord as well. Um, so like all these rural, like, look at that, who's that? All these rural, like, county airports out here are just gonna be absolutely jam packed tomorrow. I mean, jam packed. I don't know if you guys remember, like, or if you guys know what's that kid who flew the Bonanza around the world, and now he's got like, 1 million followers on YouTube, and they all flew down to wherever that was in like Georgia, or I forget where it was last year or a couple of years ago for the eclipse, and they were parking jets on the grass and stuff. Well, that's what they're going to be doing at my airport tomorrow, and I'm going to be home. Not, it's bizarre. Like, the schools are closing. Like, everybody's like taking the day off of work. Like, really? Enzer Gums is here. What's going on, Enzer? How are you? We're just talking eclipse. We're talking eclipse. Craziness going on. Kentucky. Yeah, Bob. And they were literally like parking citation jets on the grass in these places for the eclipse. And I wonder why my fuel pump switches don't work right now. Oh, well, I'll have to look. But Enzer, check this out. I have my own. One of the channel followers, Ben, made me my own Island Sim Pilot livery, and so I gave myself my own Victor Papa, um, call sign or registration. You ever fly Venezuela in the sim? A couple times. Couple times. Yeah, I mean, Venezuela is like one of those places that's got like everything, like beach, mountains, plains. I mean, it's actually some a place, and like a lot of really cool coastal airports and like little island airports. All the yeah, exactly, right? Isn't that amazing? I didn't even ask him to do it. He just sent it to me. I mean, and it's got the YouTube logo. I mean, it's just unbelievable. I got my own logo. Like, I'm like blown away. It looks so good. It looks so sharp. And we got four now until three. Let's see. Let's look at Valanta and see what we got here. Oh, not everybody's on Valanta. So, yeah, yeah, it's pretty sweet, right? So it's been a good Ben. Ben from Germany sent this to me, and it is sharp. But yeah, Chris, I think Venezuela is a place that's worth doing some exploring for sure. And I gotta aim a little bit left here. So I know some people who went to a little resort in Eds, are you flying with us today as well? But who went to a resort in Turks and Caicos, like in the like maybe January, and it's like a little island. And I'm doing the yo-yo thing here again. And there's an airport on the little island, and they fly them over from Providenciales, and somebody did the little airport on Flight Sim TO. So what I want to do today is just go up to Mayaguana and then go to Providenciales, and then I want to go hop like to all the little. I mean, there's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight airports in the Turks and Caicos. Oh, nice, Enzer. Okay, so you must be the third in tow then. That's awesome. So you must be the third in tow because I've got yeah, that makes sense. I don't know why this thing gets like this. Up and down, up and down. SVMD Merida. It's like nesting this little valley in the mountains. I can check that out. SVMD. See how this just starts yo-yoing up and down and up and down and up and down. That's the only thing that I find annoying. Enza, I am very glad you're with us, my friend. I'm very glad to see you with us. And yeah, I think you are out of the path in Baltimore. So it's like, and I'm not even really directly in the path. It's more over towards like Rochester, which is about a 2.5 hour drive from here, uh, directly west. So there is some, and I think that like what is it, like the longest amount of time you're gonna be able to see it is like 7 minutes anyway. So not too big a deal. And I never finished leaning out my mixtures. Yeah, there's 8 airports in the Turks and Caicos, which is pretty wild. That's the thing I think people don't understand about the Caribbean. Like you would assume everybody goes every place on boat, right? Nope. Airplane, and this airplane in particular, good old island. It's so cool. I almost was tempted to get the Beach 18 today. Kind of between that, kind of between that and the Stagger Wing. I think I might just get them both. Um, yeah, 1,700 miles. Hola, Ray, ¿cómo estás? We were just talking about Venezuela maybe that's what we can do. We should go. Let me open this up real quick. Do, do, do. Sure. Load away. All right, annotations. Excellent. Um, maybe what we can do, I can manage. So maybe what we can do is come back over here down the Turks, come along here, and I want to go all the way down. I want to go down to all the way down here, and maybe we can just go along the coast over to Aruba. I mean, I got nothing to do. Yeah, that's the Enzo. That's another one. Is the 414, and I have the plane. I just never, you know, I'm always flying either this, the ATR, or the 737. So, but that's a cool plane too. Maybe after we turn back east, maybe it'll make sense to start flying something a little bit faster. Right, Enzo? Wouldn't that be cool? I mean, we got all the time in the world. We don't have a schedule. We can, fly here, fly there, fly wherever we want. Um, I think that'd be a good time. One place I wanted to check out in the sim that I haven't been to yet is Ushuaia, all the way down on the tip of South America. That is one place I want to see in the sim, but I just haven't found a reason to do it yet. Right, Bob? Good time, right? And what do you guys think? Do we want to stick to Islanders, or we want to maybe switch to something a little quicker? Might not be a bad idea to try something a little faster, but at the same time, I like the Islander. And the other thing is, you really have, I mean, we're going 130 knots right now. Like, the difference between like 130 knots and 150 knots is not that much in terms of time. But again, we're not on a schedule, so we can do whatever we want. I think that over there. Oh no, that's still one of the. And I actually just found a ninth airport in the Turks and Caicos. Yeah, and that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Something in like the 180 knot range. Like the beach stagger wing's about 180 knots. The I think the what is it? The stagger wing is a little bit faster than that, maybe 190. The A62 is a cool plane too. You're right. The A62 is a cool airplane. What's the cruise speed of that? DA62 cruise speed. Ooh, okay. DA62 would be a good choice for that too. So yeah, and the Bonanza, the Baron. Um, why is the plane yo-yoing up and down? So yeah, we actually have quite a few choices in that like 180 to 200 knot range that would work really well. So I think Enzer Gums has called it. Mark Carter, what's going on? I'm sorry to hear that. We had some power outages here over the last like couple days with some wacky weather, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, the DA62 is a great choice. Actually, it's a very good choice. I think we can start to see some land here. Mark, where are you located again? I'm trying to remember. Um, yeah, so maybe we'll go do the Turks, and then oh no, I've heard of that era, and I have no idea what that's all about. As a matter of fact, I got that a couple times at the beginning of this beta. I got that, which was annoying. Sorry to hear that, Chris. But you hopefully catch us at Mayaguana. It's a weird, Bob. It's I don't know quite what causes it, but you just get an error message and uh okay, yeah, cool, do that. Um, so what we can do, let me open this back up, is I saw that already. And so what we can do is once this loads, so we can do the Turks in the Islanders next time, and then we can get on our horses and come get in some faster planes, come come down along here and along here, and you know it'd probably take us a couple flights to get out to Anguilla, that area, and then uh, and then we'll see what we want to do on the way heading down. But yeah, I think some faster planes is a good idea. Oh, really? That's interesting, Brian. Um, it's weird because I've flown in Islanders a bunch of times and I flew on a couple times, and it is a rock stable airplane. I mean, it's like sitting on your couch at home. It really is. So what do we have for air runways here? We have got runway 06 is going to be our runway, I believe. No weather. I know it is. 050 at 9 knots. So runway 6 it's going to be, which is perfect. Basically a straight in. Basically a straight in. It'll be even more straight in if I can get on center line here. Yeah, 414, sure. You know, I've thought about getting a second monitor. I have one 32-inch monitor and a and an iPad. That's all I use. Chris, you you will be all is forgiven, my friend. All is forgiven. You haven't seen some of my landings, believe me. Only the good ones get on YouTube. I've had some doozies, you know. I think everybody has at some point. Yeah, maybe I'll hop into 414 and do that. What's 414 cruise speed? Probably fast. So that's the 414 cruise speed, 203 knots. Okay. But man, max altitude of 30,800 feet. So like I mean that's like a high climber. And Brian, you might exactly be right because I just switched to Jason. I actually use the iPad on these streams for the chat for the YouTube chat. Enzo, you're in. You're on. 414. 414 it is. Anguilla Air Services. I think it's Victor Papa Alpha Lima Tango. I think that's what it is. Um, mine is a 32 inch, and I think that's big enough without being too big. If that makes any sense. I mean, to me, it's perfect because it's a good size screen. I'm sitting at a desk like a computer desk, so it's not like I have a bunch of space between me and it. But I mean, I feel like with the head tracking and the monitors, I think it's perfect. I really think it's perfect. I mean, I think like a nice big ultra wide would be great. You know, um, but I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah, it's Anguilla Air Services and Transanguilla both have 414s, I think. 3060 card power supply is recommended at 600 watts, should get 850. Ah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, Mark. Yeah, it's one of the things, and that's something I didn't even really think about when I bought my computer. Is like definitely the next time I buy a computer, I'm gonna pay a lot more attention to power supply and cooling because it gets hot in my office in the summer. 55 curved. Wow. Brian, that's a big monitor. Is that like a TV? No, it's gotta be a monitor if it's curved. That's that is a big monitor. Wow. I mean, I'm not the desk that I use is not that big. I mean, it's big enough, but um, I would have to kind of reorganize things a little bit for a bigger monitor or for a second monitor, either way. So we're starting to get there. So I'll bring the props back a little bit. We'll bring the power back here and head tracking. So I know for the Tobii eye tracker, they don't recommend anything more than I think they said 30 inches, but I mean I think it'd be fine for bigger than that. Brian, what head tracker do you use? Yeah, Enzo, I think it's the way to go. I mean, I wouldn't update a PC right now or upgrade a PC or buy a new PC. I'd wait. I think the the deal I got and the timing I got on this was like perfect. I waited long enough, but not too long. Yeah, 55-inch monitor. That's crazy, right? Peter, what's going on? Goedenavond. What is happening? So next time we'll do Islanders over to Turks and Caicos. And we're gonna do a lot of landings because there's and for the Turks and Caicos flights, I will set up I'll set everything up early so that you guys can download the freeware files and see what get all the uh, get all the airports if you want to or if you're able to, and then after we do Tobii Eye Tracker 5 works on a 55-inch monitor. That's crazy. Because I'm pretty sure they say they recommend um, not more than 30 inches. But actually, I'm gonna keep going right at. So the airport should be kind of right over here. I think if I go right at this kind of curve right here, I think I should be perfect for just a little right hand turn here on the final. As a matter of fact, even a little bit further left. Nice. Hope you had a good dinner. I resorted to pizza yesterday because Mrs. Islandson pilot wasn't here, and so therefore I resorted to college food. I shouldn't say that. Pizza's my favorite food in the world. Um, yep, that's perfect, Bob. Buckman Buck, what's going on? That is awesome. You know that there's a couple interesting programs, like kind of career type programs for Microsoft Flight Simulator that I think would be really neat, and I think air hauler is one of them. I've always been tempted to get into FedEx and like flying the Grand Caravans around the islands. I think that'd be pretty cool. I think that'd be pretty cool in real life, much less in the sim. Gotta hydrate here real quick. But Buckman, thanks for joining us, man. Oh, Peter, I turned it way down because of I forgot to turn it up. So, so all you've been hearing this entire time is my voice. That's funny. So yesterday when I flew down to Australia, or when I flew down in Australia, I at the end of the stream I turned the airplane audio down just so I could talk a little bit. Got some ghosting along the trailing edges here, but and I just forgot to turn it back up. So 050. So the runway heading should be right about here. So it should be very close to very close to what we're. I wonder if it's this light spot out here. But thank you for pointing that out, Peter. That's funny. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think I'm just going to head a little bit further left here. That's funny that everybody's been listening to nothing but my voice for the last like 45 minutes. Yeah. So once I get down to about 1,000 feet, I am going to stop. Yeah, Brian, I think you're right. I think when I switch, even when I switch windows, is I think when the airplane starts going wacky, up and down and up and down. Start bleeding off some speed here. I think the what do you think? Should we do a touch and go, or should we stop? Let's stop because this is let's do full stop landings. This is Brooks. So for those of you who don't know, one of our viewers. Oh, Peter, don't tell me what happened in the Grand Prix. I'm going to watch it right after the stream. I still haven't watched it yet. Buckman, please, we do these every Wednesday and every Sunday, and join on the kind of in the little info section, the link section of my YouTube channel. There is a link to the Discord, and you join us on Discord. That'd be great. We'd be thrilled to have you. That'd be great. We've been doing these for a while now. It's a good time. Alright, let's start bringing some power out. There's nobody to annoy, so I'm going to put the props forward. So mixtures and props full forward. We'll go fuel pumps on. Bring out some more power. 115 knots. Drop the flaps. So what I was saying was one of our regular viewers, Brooks, lives here. And so we wanted to come up and make a stop. Alright. Looking good. Alright, make sure some props full forward, a few pumps on, flaps are almost set. And seatbelts are secure. I can't. I was dying to watch that this afternoon, Peter, but the sun was out, and so we. Hey, K-Roll, what's going on? Let's go Yankees. I'm a Mets fan, brother. I'm a Mets fan. Didn't watch a lot of baseball last year. I think the Mets and the Yankees were both pretty poor last year. Alright, let's go. Flaps full. Close that. And let's get some trim in here. So we decided to come up and see Mayaguana because it's where our friend Brooks is from. And I feel like this is going to turn into a very flat, low approach unless I get some power in and level off here a little bit. The reason I feel that way is because that's exactly what's going to happen. Babaso! How are you doing? Alright, that looks a little better. Always rather be a little too high than a little too low. Nobody has ever hit the sky. Nobody has ever hit the sky. Alright. I hate long straight-in finals. I think I've told you guys this. It requires extended periods of competence, which I often don't possess. Let's power out here. Power out here. Alright. A little bit more power out here. Just a little bit of a left crosswind here. I'm telling you, for a stock airport in the middle of nowhere, this is awesome. It really is. Alright, power coming out. A little bit of right rudder, a little bit of left aileron. That was pretty darn good right there. That was pretty darn good. Alright. And lean the mixtures for taxi. I'm gonna spin my. Where are we going? We're gonna go. We'll park over here. All right, we'll go park over here. Sounds like a plan to me. And let's go flaps up here. Let's go flaps up. So. Yeah, so I was telling you guys at the beginning of this stream that yesterday when I flew into Nice, France, that we had a local with us on the stream who lives right where we flew into, and that is K-Roll. He is with us now, which is awesome. Good to see you back. Yeah, we're doing something totally different today. Something totally different today. Yeah, beach. I gotta admit that was a pretty good landing. Yeah, what is it like? Broken clock is right twice a day, right? That's great, Buckman. That's great. That's what we're looking for. I love hearing stories like that. I never get tired of hearing stories about how well this works. It's good. Glad to hear it. Alright, mixtures lean for taxi. I left my fuel pumps on. And I'm going to run into a building. Alright. Let's see what we got here. Alright, let me check Belanta and see who we got coming in still. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Oh, I show up as a Bonanza. That's fine. I didn't even check the altimeter, which was pretty poor form. This is awesome. It's so cool. So cool. Alright, so next up is going to be direct to what is it? Um, no, it's MB. Can't see from here. MBPV, I do believe. And MVP. Yeah, that was one of the most fun flights I've had yesterday going into Nice. It was absolutely gorgeous. And I want to go fly into the GA airport that's right there. Trying to remember my alphabet. There we go. Right. Nice, nice, nice. Carol, it's really cool to see you again. All right, so let's get rolling here. And we'll head to Providenciales. So I have one. And actually, this is a cool story. So I have the payware version of Providenciales because I fly in there for American Airlines. So I want to make sure I always have the good payware for the places I fly for the VAs. But anyway, if any of you downloaded the freeware version that I posted in the Discord, that guy, I think it's Chak991 or something like that, who did Providenciales, that guy does the most unbelievable freeware sceneries. I mean, his sceneries are just ridiculous. They're absolutely payware quality, like absolutely payware quality. He did Barbados, he did Providenciales, he did a whole bunch of different. We can get off the ground in that much distance, right? Yeah. I wouldn't do this in real life, but hey, let's give it a shot. Oops. I'll bring the trim up here. Alright, trim is set for takeoff. Takeoff flaps are set. I don't know if this is a real good idea, but it's only a simulator, right? Alright, flaps are set. Mixtures and props full forward. Let's get out here on center line. This is looking shorter and shorter the longer I look at it. I think that might be me trying to take off from the ramp. Alright. Let's go toes on the brakes. I don't know, I don't see anybody else, but alright, takeoff power is coming in. Takeoff power is set, engine instruments in the green. Release the brakes. Good old short field takeoff technique. And you know what I want to do? Watch this. Get off and into ground effect. Whoops. Or get off and nose the plane into the runway, one of the two. Get off, get into ground effect, and then get airborne. That wouldn't have been too cool if I just smashed the nose into the ground. Alright, bring the props back. And this is 400 feet AGL. Make our first turn. Never make a turn under 400 feet AGL. That advice will serve you well. 25, they're heading. I have no idea. So, we can tell Brooks we came. Came and we visited. Alright, so I think I'm definitely overshooting this turn here. Alright. I can't even imagine living somewhere like this. And like how peaceful it must be. Alright, we'll go. Should have brought my flaps up already. We'll take the fuel pumps off. Fuel pressures are good. Drop the nose a little bit. Bring the flaps up. Good to go. Probably right along the edge of that outcropping there is perfect for a heading. And we will trim for 100, cruise climb. Bunch of manifold pressures in the climb. So happy, happy, happy. So as soon as this stream is done, I'm going to watch the Japanese Grand Prix. And I make no predictions. I make no predictions. Bombasso, that. Look at this. Look at this. This is stock scenery in a flight simulator. That was it MMYG? MYMM. How far off was I? MYMM. Mike Yankee Mike Mike. I need to get turning here to the right, or else I will not find Providenciales. So I can put that in the chat real quick. That's alright, we're coming up on 3,000. Coming up on 3,000. Alright. 50 feet below your cruise altitude, bring your props back, bring your manifold pressures back. Let the nose drop. Let the nose drop. Yeah, some people do that, Jason. They do, like, what do they call them? Tandem takeoffs. I don't like being near other airplanes in real life. I like being far away from other airplanes. Alright, let's get the nose down here a little bit. What, Jason? What do you see me as an islander, or you see me as something different? A little bit to the right here. Let's see. This is not good. This is not good flying. You're heading about 145 should do the trick. So, I mean, this is just stunning. Absolutely stunning. Islander, gotcha. And I need some aileron trim, some rudder trim. Shouldn't be too long of a hop down to Providenciales. And I think I told this story before. Hey, Andrew. Andrew, what's going on? How are you? Good to see you. I think I told this story before. There was I watched there's a guy from California who did flew to the islands in like I think it was a Diamond DA. What's the DA-42? Is that the single? And he flew to Turks and Caicos. He did a whole bunch of videos of the trip. And he flew to Turks and Caicos, and he flew to one of the outlying islands. You know, he did customs in Turks and Caicos, which you have to do, and then you go to one of the other islands, and then a couple days later he was going to leave, or the next day or whatever, he was going to leave, and they wouldn't let him leave from the outer island. He had to fly from the outer island back to Providenciales, do a touch and go, and then turn around and go in the other direction, because you can only depart from Providenciales. It's like the most ridiculous thing in the world. But why? Do I have a fuel imbalance or what? No. So Andrew, what's happening? You're hopping around the Bahamas, heading down to Turks and Caicos now. We've done a lot, actually. I think we started this in St. Kitts, right? I think we started this in St. Kitts or Antigua, and then we went to St. Kitts, and then we took a right and headed up past St. Eustatius. I'm trying to remember. But we've covered a lot of ground on these flights. We've covered a lot of ground on these flights. 3 40-inch curved monitors and a 55 HDMI. Wow. Fuck, man, that is some impressive performance. 3 40-inch curved monitors. That must look so sweet. Alright, flaps are up, fuel pumps are off. I've not leaned my mixtures. I'm burning through a ton of fuel. Let's see here. Let's see how that does. And please stop climbing, airplane. This is one of the prettier approaches in the world, in my opinion. Coming in over, I'm pretty sure it's runway 10 when you come in over the the bay. Let's see here. Actually, I think, yeah. What is the weather here? What is the weather here today? It's not telling me the weather for some reason. Oh, okay, there we go. Winds are 050 at Niner. Okay. So I actually think going a little bit further south is going to be the way to go. And then we'll get the runway 10 right there. So let me see here. Yep, and every time I switch windows, the plane goes wacky. Every time I switch windows. So now I know that's what it is. So 142. I'm not really going to use that. 142 is about right there. About at least 160, maybe a little bit more. I think 160 at least more. That's crazy. That's crazy. Is that like as much trouble to set up as I imagine it is, or is it pretty easy? 'Cause I've never done. I mean, I use multiple monitors for work, but I've never done it for for a sim or anything. And what is airport elevation? 28 feet. Yep, that makes sense. Fuck, man, that's pretty awesome. That must look so good. I don't know. I'm not really that interested in VR. I think physical monitors is so much better. Like I can imagine 3 40-inch curved monitors must look absolutely awesome. It must literally just look awesome. So, I mean, I think you probably get like 90% of them. I mean, even with head tracking, I feel like I get like 80% of the benefit of VR with like none of the drawbacks, you know? That's my opinion. Alright. right, so we start to be able to see this here a little bit. Um, yeah, I mean, I can imagine that must look amazing. So I think right along the edge of the island here, the western edge, put us on a nice left base here. The headaches are worth the immersion. Okay. Yeah, you know, Enzo, it's funny. I did VR one time in my life, which was for like an art exhibit, which was actually pretty interesting. It was a Monet exhibit where you actually got like you like walked through his famous paintings, which is really pretty cool. But I mean, it was only like 10 minutes long, the VR part of it, and I was like, that's a little queasy. So Buckman, what are you flying in if you're not flying in 2020 in Microsoft? You explain? Yeah, it's weird how it seems like VR takes a lot of effort to get right, and I'm not talking about like just messing around with like graphic settings and stuff. It just seems like it takes a lot of effort to get set up correctly. 55-inch OLED. Hey, Ali, what's going on? Okay, for VR. Gotcha. Yeah, and the other thing um about VR is they're not. I mean, it's not that light. I mean, I can imagine it's probably not the greatest thing in the world for your neck. You know, like for hours on end to have one of those things on your head. Add a motion. Yeah, those motion chairs are interesting. Those motion chairs are actually really interesting. Okay, so it's gotten better, Mombasa. Okay. I mean, I'd like to try it, you know, and see what it's like. I just don't want to try it for 500 bucks and then find out that I don't like it. You know what I mean? But it seems interesting. I mean, a lot of people seem to either. I don't know if I know anybody who really tried VR and hated it and never did it again. But the people who like VR definitely like VR. Yeah, K-roll. So I have a friend of mine who does he has a mixed reality company. He does mixed reality like marketing stuff, and it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild, and actually that's a really good. It's probably a really good use for flight sim. His company set up a mixed reality helicopter simulator for a client, and they use it for so it's you know for flight training, for helicopter flight training, which is pretty wild. And I actually think mixed reality is probably a better choice than VR because you can actually see, you can still see everything around you. It's a really interesting idea, K-roll. I'd sort of forgotten about that. I'm trying to remind myself to sit up straight. I always hunch over and like terrible. Yeah, Ali, some people, oh my gosh. I mean, some people go absolutely bonkers. I mean, there was a guy out in Long Island, actually. And I remember him saying, and it seems like they always do 737 simulators when they go completely crazy. And I feel like my airplane is very nose up when it's on. But he did like a full 737 setup in his garage, and he said it cost him like $100,000. Like, if that's what you want to do, and that's probably not including the divorce settlement and the child support. That's around a little on Quest. It really is immersive. Yeah, like I said, that the one kind of experience I had with VR was like a little bit queasy. I didn't love it. Let's put it that way. Yeah, Jason, that's actually a good point. I gotta go back and look at that again. Setting up mixed setup with my buttons. Mombasa, yeah, that's. I think mixed reality is going to be the way. I think that's going to be and the other ways to turn on your transponder. Jeez. Full 747 rigs. Yeah, I mean, I mean, you ever sat in a 747 cockpit, a real one? It's unbelievable how high off the ground that thing is. It's like 38 feet off the ground, I think. Yeah, Carol, I totally agree, and it's funny. I agree 100%. I never really thought of mixed reality for that. It would be perfect because you could see everything, and you could still interact with your your physical environment. Yeah, it's perfect. That would be perfect. All right, we're getting sort of close here. We're getting a little closer than I realized, actually. Props back. The manifold pressure's back. Interesting commercial drones. Okay. Yeah, Bombasso, I totally agree. I think Flight Sim 24 is going to be it's going to be I mean so far next level that it's going to be amazing. Andrew Carr, what's going on? Yeah, I think Flight Sim 24 interesting. I think it's going to give us actually. I think it's going to give a lot longer life to the equipment that a lot of us have now because it's going to use so much more of the processor instead of using one thread and just getting hammered. Andrew, you can. The only thing that will happen is it will default to preset C, which is not really the one that you want to use. So I mean, if you want to get the full benefit of it, you should do the DLSS tweak stuff because the whole thing works together. Like the driver they released the other day, I think it's 552.12, and then the DLSS 3.7, and then the preset E. So normally, so this is actually just for developers. It's not even for users right now. But we just swiped it from the developer GitHub. So when they're actually implementing it in games, they're going to implement it with preset E. But the game itself actually determines what preset is used, and Microsoft Flight Simulator defaults to C, to Charlie. So So the only way to get it to use echo is to force it with DLSS tweaks. Can you just swap it? Yes, you can, but you're not going to get. I don't know how much of the benefit you're getting and how much you're losing. But one of the things that I remember reading was when they switched from 3.51 to 3.6, DLSS 3.6 had 5 times the data that 3.5.1 had. So it's pretty significant. All right, let's go fuel pumps on. Mixtures full forward. Bring power out a little bit more. Let's take a look here, see if we got anybody cutting us off. We don't. Look at how beautiful this looks. Look at how beautiful this looks. It's crazy. Where'd my airport go? Okay, there we go. Alright, and there's nobody to annoy. We'll go props full forward. Lead off some speed here. And 115, we'll go flaps. 1. Correct. Yes. I mean that's part of it, Andrew. That's part of it. That's not all of it, but it's a big part of it. Yes. All right. So definitely a little bit of a left crosswind here. All right. Mixtures of props full forward. Fuel pumps are on. Seatbelts are secure. All right. Gotta bring some. Carol, yeah, I was actually reading about that too. I was actually reading about that as well. Just gonna hold altitude right here for a second. Try to get some speed let off here. The beauty of this airplane is you're never too high. You just chop the power and you're gone. It does take some effort to slow down sometimes. Alright, there's second notch flaps. And let's get some trim in here. Aye. I just feel like I'm chasing vertical speed, and that's really not a good way to do this. Should do is get my airspeed set, and then use my throttle to make my life easier. With the left crosswind, that's what I really should do. So one could ask, why don't I? I don't know why I'm so lazy about that. Mind thy airspeed. That's what my first flight instructor taught me. Mind thy airspeed. Alright. Get your airspeed right, you get a lot of things right. Alright, we'll start bringing out some power. Start bringing out some power. And power is out. And balloon landing. And you're not on center line. Ay, 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 ay. And you're not aligned with the runway. That was pretty poor. That was pretty poor. Do we want to go to GA or do we want to go to the big boy? terminal. We want to go to the big boy terminal. Yeah, right? Yeah, let's go to the big boy terminal. Let's see what we got coming in here. See, watch people make better landings than me. That's a poor landing on the part of your host. Kroll, gotcha. You know, it's funny. I've been meaning to ask you that. Awesome, Kroll. Thanks. Um, yeah, I think I mentioned to you when I first saw it. I assumed you were American, and I assumed it was a like a U.S. Airport designator. All right, lean the mixtures for taxi. Let's turn the fuel pumps off. Flaps are up. Such a cool airport. I'm just gonna taxi out over here and just park somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Let's see if we can see some landings here from the crew. So you got it, Kroll. I appreciate you letting me know. So I'm gonna park right here, which is a really bad place to park. All right. Brakes are set. Mixtures to idle. Cut off. Throttles are idle. Set the parking brake. Lights coming off. Avionics master off before you turn the mags off. Mags off. Master and battery switches off. Let's open the window because it's hot out. I should have done that before. Boarding steps. And chocks. Come on. It's the one thing about the Toby, it's difficult to do. Alright, and let's open our doors here. Let the people free. And we got one Islander here. Let's see who else we got coming in. That was a cool flight. We got two coming in. We got Chris coming in right now. Here we go. Let's see what Chris can do. Yeah, that was just... I don't... That's exactly the kind of landing that I hate. And trying to correct two variables at once is not that easy. And the way you should do it is get your airspeed set. You know, pick an airspeed first of all, and get your airspeed set, and then use your throttle to control your descent rate. And it makes life a lot easier. And I don't know why I'm so lazy about doing that. Maybe that's why I hate straight-in approaches, because I do a bad job at that. Cool, Buckman. And like I said, join the Discord. We'd love to have you and join us for some flying. That'd be great. That was a smooth landing right there. That was a smooth landing right there. And that's Jason. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna share the delivery in the Discord. So basically everybody made a better landing than me today, which is, I can take it. Your cornflakes might have spilled on that landing. Cool, Buckman. Appreciate it. It'd be great to have you along. And I'm gonna check out Air Hauler because I've heard some really cool things about that. Awesome. This is so cool having all these islanders. If any of you guys downloaded the freeware Providenciales, I'd be curious to see what you think of it. Andrew, that was a if that was a beautiful landing. That's you right here. That was a beautiful landing. And then there is an A320 coming in on, but it's not on Batson. This is a sharp looking crew right here, if you ask me. That's awesome. For some reason, when I put my wheel chocks out, everybody's wheel chocks come in the video. Guys, this looks awesome. I'm gonna take a picture for the Discord. That is some good looking stuff right there. Jason, I really like this livery. That's a sweet livery. And that's Vieques Airlink, right? You have the Paywave version as well. Yeah, the Paywave is good. I got this a long time ago when I was flying the CRJ in here. And it's unfortunate because I fly with American Airlines Virtual, and they only fly the CRJ. Well, I think they fly the CRJ and the ERJ in here, which is kind of a bummer because I'd love to fly the 737 in here. Guys, this is a good way to spend a Sunday. I really appreciate everybody coming out. It's a good time. Enzer, so glad you can make it. Always good to have you along. And Kroll, thanks for coming. It's great. Kroll was a newcomer from yesterday when I was rolling into Nice, France, that was such a beautiful approach. My gosh. Um, and yeah, Bob. Hopefully we're not too far away. They just released like a um, very small beta update the other day, like very small. And I suspect that we're getting pretty close. They said they pushed it back to April, but they didn't say when in April. You know. But yeah, Hans, I totally agree. But awesome, gentlemen. Thank you guys for coming out. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for keeping me entertained. I am going to go watch the Japanese Grand Prix, and I'm hoping for an exciting race. We'll see. I'm sort of skeptical that it's going to be that interesting, but you never know. Looking for Sergio Perez in the turn one. Let's see what he does. But guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody coming out. Hans, Bob, Enzer, Buckman, Jason, Ali, Kroll, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. It's great to see you again. And Andrew as well. Ali, good times, my friend. Bambaso, really good to see you. And yeah, and we'll do this again on Wednesday. We'll do this again on Wednesday, and I'll put the flight plan up early, and I'll put the links for the freeware airports from flightsim.to so that everybody has a chance to get them because there's some they're very basic airports, but it's pretty cool. I think it's gonna be pretty neat. Um, Chris, thank you again as well. Mr. Beach, if you're still here, RJ DeVirus, let's go Mets. Peter, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Always good to see you. Brian, good to see you as well. Be Don't be a stranger. Join us on the Discord and join us for some flights. We'd love to have you. And Mark, good to see you as well. And this is a good and Ray, El Capitan. This is a good way to spend a Sunday, guys. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. Mike at Virtue Sim, he's off in Chile. So um, did I check my vid? The sound you mean, Chris? Yeah. So what happened was I plugged in my webcam, and for whatever reason, whenever I plug in the webcam, the uh, the computer decides it wants to use the audio from the webcam, which of course there is no audio from the webcam. It's just this little microphone. But yeah, Bob, it was awesome. It really was a fun weekend. I did so much flying this weekend. And Peter, thank you. I am going to enjoy that for sure. And Hey, Kroll, now you've laid down the challenge. I'm gonna write that down. So what would you like me to fly it in, Kroll? Because I'm up for the challenge. I love approaches like that. Um, so you tell me. Um, you tell me, Kroll, what you want me to fly that in, and I will do it. I'm up to the challenge. There's no approach that I can't mess up. I can mess up a basic visual approach, but yeah, Chris, I don't know why. Like, so I have a webcam that I don't use, and whenever I plug it in, it's got like a crummy little microphone in it, and for whatever reason, my computer likes to use it. So I have no idea why, but now I remembered it. So I didn't have the webcam plugged in for a long time, and then I plugged it in yesterday. That's how it happened. So Kroll, tell me which plane you want me to do. You can let me know in the Discord which plane you want me to do that in, and I am up. So what Kroll's talking about, this VPT approach, is a crazy visual approach into Nice, France, which is it's sort of half instrument, half visual, and it's a really cool approach. And so I'm gonna give that a go. And Buckman, absolutely. There is a Japanese Grand Prix. They raced it last night. My time. I don't know where you're located, but it was ran about, I don't know, about maybe 12 hours ago, 15 hours ago. And but it's in the middle of the night. I'm in the US in the middle of the night, so I couldn't watch it. Well, I could, but I didn't. So we're gonna go watch the replay. Mrs. Island Sim Pilot is as much of a crazy F1 fan as I am, so we're gonna go enjoy it. And one last shout out to depending on the winds, each turn, um, 04 left, 24 right. I just loved that approach yesterday, Kroll. That was such a cool flight. Um, and one last shout out to somebody who's not here, but Ben, who did this livery for me. It looks absolutely awesome. It looks absolutely awesome. 1337 Sim Pilot. That's awesome. I mean, this is such a cool livery. I gotta take a picture of it and show it to him. But I mean, how cool is this? I just love it. Okay, BC Canada, gotcha. Gotcha, yeah. It's one of the drivers' favorite tracks. They love this track. So, all right, guys. Thank you again, everybody, for coming out. Really appreciate it, and we'll all keep up in the Discord, and I'll talk to you guys. We'll fly on Wednesday. We'll fly again on Wednesday. Bob, take care. Thanks again for being along this weekend. You spent a lot of time flying with me this weekend. All right, guys. Everybody have a great rest of your Sunday and good start to your week. And we will talk soon. Be well, everybody.